Bobby After Dark commences right now. It is Christmas evening, 10:52 Eastern here on December 25th, a Wednesday night. And week 17 of this NFL regular season went out with a bang. So far tonight, I should say, came in with a bang because the Ravens absolutely boat raced the Houston Texans at their place down south in Texas at NRG Stadium. 31-2 was the final. Baltimore improves to 11-5, is very much in control of its own destiny. And should it win in the regular season finale against the Cleveland Browns next weekend, they take the division, the Ravens do, and will potentially be a 3 seed and host a home playoff game wild card weekend. That is just a little bit of the significance, just a sliver of the significance of what they accomplished today in just a dominating victory over the Houston Texans, who already locked up their division, who are by many metrics a top 10 defense. And honestly, they looked like anything but today. From the jump, the Ravens controlled the tempo, and as a result, are victorious coming back from Christmas. And of course, the way the game, and I should say the day began, was probably the most significant part of this entire thing, because this is what set up the Ravens to be in control of their own destiny. And that is the fact that the Steelers are reeling and they are bleeding right now. After starting the year 10-3, they've gone winless the last 3 weeks, 0-3. Now, very formidable opponents, Kansas City, Baltimore, and Philadelphia. But it maybe just suggests that that 10-3 record was a little bit inflated and had everything to do with the strength of schedule or lack thereof. Kansas City takes care of the Steelers 29-10. The road to the New Orleans, the road to the Super Bowl will run through Arrowhead yet again. Top overall seed is what the Chiefs accomplished today. But most importantly for the Ravens, with that Pittsburgh loss, it sets them up again to go and win against Cleveland, who will likely be starting Dorian Thompson-Robinson under center. You take the division, and you ultimately host a home playoff game for Wild Card Weekend. The way the current AFC playoff picture stands, Chiefs 1, Bills 2, Ravens 3, Texans at 4, Pittsburgh 5, Chargers 6, Denver 7, and still in the hunt right now with more work to do, the Indianapolis Colts, Miami Dolphins, and Cincinnati Bengals, all who currently sit at 7-8 right now with, again, a little bit of help needed and more work themselves to do around the league. 31-2 is the final. Here is a look at the AFC North standings. And of course, with the lowly Cleveland Browns just left to finish up this 2024-2025 NFL regular season schedule, the way the Ravens will do, they're scheduled to do so on January 5th. Terrell Suggs, one of many former Ravens on hand, watching from home. 31-2 equals belt the ass. Job's not finished. Quoting the late and great Kobe Bryant. You know, Sizzle is loving what he's seeing. The Ravens guys are through the gauntlet. They've played 3 games in 11 days with the rest of these teams, right? Being Pittsburgh, being Kansas City, and of course being Houston. And ever since the bye week, this team has been full-fledged on fire. They've outscored their opponents 100-33, and the defense pitched a shutout today. Keep that in mind. Zach Orr's defense pitched a shutout, and if it weren't for Derrick Henry's safety, Houston wouldn't have scored at all. C.J. Stroud looked lifeless at times. He was 17 for 31, 185 yards. He threw a pick to Kyle Hamilton. We'll get onto that in just a bit, and a quarterback rating of 59.2. On top of that, they couldn't run the ball. Joe Mixon had 26 yards on 9 carries. As a team, they finished with 58. This was as complete of a game in all 3 phases as we've seen from the Ravens all year long, and they continue to peak at the right time. And of course, who's at the forefront of that? That's Lamar Jackson. 168 passing yards through the air, 87 on the ground. A very historic performance for LJ, of course, in that category. 3 total touchdowns. We'll get to the significance of what he did on the ground in just a second. But first and foremost, and this is what the title of this video is all about, Richard Sherman, tweeting out just a short while ago, a few hours ago, I should say. I will say what I've been saying, he wrote. Lamar Jackson has the numbers this season and should win it easily, referring to the MVP conversation. I didn't understand the sentiment that the race was over, like Buffalo was the number 1 seed. We know that the Chiefs currently hold that and will permanently hold that for this year's playoffs. If Lamar ends up with 45 plus touchdowns and under 5 picks without an MVP, I'm not sure how that is justified. Taking direct aim at those in the media, namely Dan Orlovsky, who referred to this race as over after 15 weeks. Well, slowly but surely, make no mistake, this shift is on right now. And you are seeing a change in tune nationally. And I think the sports books will reflect that as well when it comes to the NFL MVP odds after this. Now, of course, Josh is going to get a chance to hold serve coming up this weekend. They have the Jets, I believe, followed by the Patriots, 2 teams that are not obviously involved whatsoever in the postseason conversation, but they are AFC East in division teams. And one of those teams, being New England, gave them a little bit of a game. At least they did through 3 quarters this past weekend. So to me, that is irresponsible to refer to a race as over when we all know it's a 17-game, 18-week season threshold. And what Lamar's doing right now and what he's done since the bye against quality opponents, Giants aside, is noteworthy, is significant, and my, oh my, it feels awfully reminiscent to a year ago, right around now, when he snatched that thing from Brock Purdy and other candidates on a successful Christmas night in San Francisco. It had shades of that written all over it tonight, and this game was not particularly close. Richard Sherman saying what we've all thought for a while now. This race is not over, and the full body of work for Lamar and how he is scratching and clawing them back into potentially top 3 seeding entering the playoffs needs to be talked about. And the full body of work will certainly be talked about. I promise you that. 3 total touchdowns, 255 all-purpose yards. And how about it? While doing so, those 87 rushing yards put him in rare air. Uncharted territory, if you will. Uncharted waters. The greatest rushing quarterback in NFL history. That is number 8, guys. It's year number 7 for Lamar, and he surpassed Michael Vick with the most rushing yards by a quarterback in NFL history. Lamar turns 28 next month. Here they are, graphics provided by the NFL. This is historic stuff that we're watching. He did it in 41 fewer games. As I mentioned, this is his 7th NFL season, his 93rd career start. Just within the last few games, within the last few months, I should say, he's surpassed 2 of the greatest dual threats that came before him in Vic and Cam Newton. And maybe, just maybe, going home, Lamar is with the greatest gift of them all. One for the trophy case. Folks on the sideline making sure that that football is taken care of so that Lamar can get it, because that is that's a piece of history right there. Most rushing yards for a quarterback in NFL history. Congratulations to Lamar. At one point, during one of his ridiculously talented scramble runs, which went for 6, of course, he had 4 carries, 87 yards, a touchdown, and a long of 48. On that touchdown run, Lamar had the audacity to say postgame that he was jogging. He was clocked at 21.25 miles an hour. Think about this. Think about him toying with Danielle Hunter, a standout pass rusher in this league, almost playing a game of cat and mouse with him. Lamar is so often a man amongst boys when it comes to his physical ability, the way that he extends plays, the way that he gives his guys a chance. You'll see certain plays where his offensive line, you get to a point where they don't even know what to do anymore because Lamar goes into unicorn mode. And the way that he extends these plays and gives guys chances is uncanny. It's the legendary stuff that makes Lamar Lamar, but you'll never see that ever pop up on a stat sheet. And that's why some of the stuff that Lamar does continues to be and will always be immeasurable. What's absolutely measurable right now is where Lamar stands amongst his peers. And what I mean by peers is this year's most valuable player candidates, Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley. Lamar has over 3,900 passing yards, over 850 rushing yards, and 43 total touchdowns. You see where that ranks when you put it back to back with Josh and Saquon, not downplaying or taking away from anything of the significance that these two players have played with this year because they have been great for their respective teams. And that will not be argued. But what Lamar's doing with an AFC North title still very much within reach, and numbers like these on top of it, over 4,800 yards, a career best for a two-time MVP, 43 total touchdowns, that ties a career best. Again, he's got another game to play. And because the division is still up for grabs, they're not going to sit him. So who knows? Speaking of stats padding, because I know so many like to point the finger at Josh Allen this year when it comes to that concept. That could very well be what it might become for 3 quarters, maybe, against Dorian Thompson-Robinson and the lowly Cleveland Browns in the regular season finale. He's thrown just 4 picks, none of which he's been directly to blame for. That is a career best for a two-time MVP. His completion percentage, 67.9, that's a career best. We'll get to another slide in just a second to show you the historic significance of that stat. And what I mean by that is passer rating. That's what I was referring to. That is historic. A career best, 121.6 passer rating average so far. The ones that have asterisks by it, career best meaning, that's a minimum of 200 attempts. But wait till you see the slide on where he is stacking up in single season NFL history when it comes to passer rating. You know where he's stacking up in his teammate Isaiah Likely's eyes? The top overall MVP candidate. Only problem is Isaiah doesn't get a vote. Mike Florio does. Emmanuel Acho does. Dan Orlovsky does. Others in the national media circles do. And guess what? There is slowly starting to be a shift that not only is this MVP race not over, but for my money, unless Josh does something otherworldly in week 17, Lamar is the clear-cut front runner for this award. And Isaiah Likely certainly would back that up as well. Putting up an Instagram story post-game with that slide that I just showed you a second ago where Lamar ranks up against Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley, statistically speaking. And Isaiah's like, are we still debating? Shaking my head. Isaiah speaking for a lot of us on that one. Likely was involved tonight. Scored a touchdown on his one target of the evening. And it was a balanced approach. Lamar spread it out. He's the John Stockton of this team, of this league. He's the point guard. He facilitates. Nobody jumped out at the page in terms of bulk. But when you look around, multiple guys, a slew of guys had at least one catch. Mark Andrews leading the way, 2 for 68 and a touchdown. Mark continues to, stack games. His 67-yard catch and run is his longest reception since his rookie season. He had a 69-yarder that year as a rookie at the Chargers. That's courtesy of Jamison Hensley and the ESPN research crew. Zay Flowers goes 2 for 31. Derrick Henry had a couple catches. And then each of the following guys had one. Keaton Mitchell, good to see him involved. That was a screen too, and big chunk play for him that went for 28. Anthony Miller in garbage time, practice squad call-up. Bateman had a catch. Likely had a catch, like I mentioned, and Tylan Wallace had a catch. Devontae Walker had a drop. So this was just a balanced approach by this offense. Todd Monken was phenomenal. The opening drive was surgical. Big plays from Zay and Lamar set the tone for the night. You got a big day, of course, from the King, who had 85 rushing yards in the opening quarter. There were lanes and windows all over the field for him. He finishes with 147 yards on 27 carries. He did get into the end zone. Broke a franchise record for touchdowns scored in a single season, did Derek. In year one, of course, with Baltimore. He averaged 5.4 yards per carry. Last I checked coming into the game, he averaged 5.9 on the year, which was a career high by a comfortable margin. So there's just so many different areas of this offense that benefit and aid the conversation for Lamar Jackson's MVP case. And former players and former teammates of his have been weighing in, of course, ad nauseum. Odell Beckham Jr., a slew of tweets earlier tonight. Words don't do justice for seeing what Lamar does in person. Of course, OBJ is a current free agent. Des Bryant weighed in on this as well. He quote tweeted OBJ and basically said, look, I try to tell people all the time, 8 is different. So if you start to tally it up here, Lamar's peers clearly feel like he's the MVP. D'Amico Ryans, his opponent, the head coach of the Houston Texans, clearly felt like he was the MVP, and he said as much in one of his pregame press conferences leading into this Christmas Day game. The statistics certainly tell you that he's MVP. I mentioned the passer rating slide. Here it is. Look at where Lamar is potentially heading with one more big performance against the Browns. The highest passer rating in a single season in NFL history is currently owned by Aaron Rodgers, the 2011 version of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, 122.5, which is just exceptional. Well, guess where 2024 Lamar is? Just really a fraction away from Aaron, 121.6. Got a chance to set that. And I should say reset it and rewrite the record books as he so often has done throughout this MV3 campaign. So his peers, his teammates, his statistics, the Ravens' record now, and potentially where they're headed, and the strength of schedule, and the AFC North division still being very much within reach, so on and so forth, the head-to-head matchups with his peers, beating Josh Allen the way that he did in September. I could go on and on and on. All of that is skewed towards Lamar. It is leaning in Lamar's favor. I know he's got bigger fish to fry, and I'm sure many of you are tired of this MVP conversation. But it certainly matters for his legacy. And now the Ravens, most importantly, though, moving forward, control their own destiny and have an opportunity to take on the Browns in the regular season finale and put the finishing touches on what could become a historic run with all the momentum shifting in their favor. They're peaking at the right time and just a couple weeks away from potentially hosting a home opportunity, a home game on Wild Card Weekend. I've got 900 of you joining me here tonight. a very, very Merry Christmas to you and yours. Please like the video on your way in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And hit that notification bell so you can be notified of when I'm dropping my daily live content. Sarah and I hit over 6,000 concurrents on our show right after the game. So we just want to say thank you times a million for that generosity. David Kewer says Lamar showed speed on that touchdown, Ron. That was a OMFG. It was ridiculous. Lamar left everybody in the dust. And what he did to Danielle Hunter on that Isaiah Likely touchdown where he extended the play and was just playing a game of cat and mouse continues to be the epitome, exhibit A of his greatness. Merry Christmas, Dave. Matt writes, I've gone on record this entire season saying that it wasn't Orr's fault, meaning Zach, that the defense needed to get their assignments right. Vindication. Matt, you're going to get more of that vindication in just a second. Straight up validation. That's coming up in just a second. I'm about to transition to talk everything defense because it was a shutout that Zach Orr's defense pitched. And that's big time. Tongsley, Merry Christmas to you as well. Appreciate the $20 super chat. I hope you and yours are having an awesome night. And I appreciate you guys for being here. Over 900 again concurrents watching tonight's show. And I wanted to take an opportunity to thank my sponsor, Primary Residential Mortgage, for the continued support that they give me here inside the channel. And they sent me a message just within the last week or so, and they wanted me to relay it to you. You can potentially turn your tax refund into a new home. Primary Residential Mortgage has a wide variety of loans requiring little to no down payment. Your tax refund could cover it all. You could use it to cover closing costs, perhaps pay down existing debt that's out there, or pay for upgrades to your existing home so to increase the value. Look, PRMI, as I've told you about in recent weeks, is going to cover your closing costs. If you're in the home buying process, you want to kickstart 2025 with a bang, I would love for you to consider working with PRMI. Applications that are submitted by February 9th of 2025, they're up for grabs for this offer. PRMI is willing to cover your closing costs up to $750. One of my subscribers just within the last week or so has taken advantage of this offer, already on their way to a new home. PRMI just reached out to tell me about it, so I was thrilled to hear that you guys are actually using this. So don't miss out. People are actively taking advantage of this incentive within the channel. I hope you'll consider doing so as well. You can apply through the PRMI Mid-Atlantic website. Just mention my name throughout the application process that you can get it redeemed. And again, all that information can be found in the show notes. You can also click on the link that's in the live chat as a pinned comment. That goes a long way to tracking the kind of traffic that I bring to Primary Residential Mortgage. And again, even if you're not interested, check them out. Primary Residential Mortgage and my specific landing page. Well, Matt mentioned it, and it's time to talk about the defensive effort because this was a group that, quite frankly, was utterly dominant from the opening snap when Roquan Smith laid the wood down on Joe Mixon. And Joe Mixon had a tough night. But whatever happened pregame between he and Josh Johnson, that became a symbol of the evening. 9 carries, 26 yards. Whole lot of nothing. As a team, this defense had 58 yards, rushing-wise. It's not going to cut it. Ravens had 251. This was utter domination. They got to C.J. Stroud early and often. He was inaccurate from the jump and kind of felt like he was just totally a shell of himself. For his sake, I hope that, and from a human standpoint, I hope it's not anything to do with the aftermath of the emotional whirlwind that it's been since losing Tank Dell to that horrible, horrible kneecap injury. So prayers up for him if he's still hurting between the ears. But I thought CJ was just off his spot from the jump. Very inaccurate, overthrowing guys, not even always due to pressure, too. The pressure was there. 5 sacks, 1 pick, of course, corralled by Kyle Hamilton, which was just an exceptional play. Much like last week against Pittsburgh, there were really 2 defensive plays that stood out to me. Ardarius Washington's and Kyle Hamilton's. And last week it was Marlon Humphrey's pick 6 and Ardarius Washington's incredible forced fumble on Russell Wilson. Here's the pick. How'd you like to be 6'4", that kind of frame, and be able to fully extend and show off your athleticism in a standalone game on Christmas Day, use the ground accordingly, and safely corral this football that goes down as an interception on CJ Stroud? This was an electrifying play from Kyle Hamilton. He is a unicorn, and he is going to be paid handsomely. Maybe as soon as this offseason. This is year 3 for Kyle. He is clearly an all-pro, and he and Ardarius Washington have been feeding off of one another. To be a 5'8", a $180, an undrafted rookie out of TCU, you've been banged up in recent years. Ardarius Washington oozes with physicality, a certain level of fearlessness, grit, tenacity, and all that was on full display as he stopped Joe Mixon short of the end zone, lowered his shoulder, and let his pads do the rest. Of course, this was a turnover on downs, a major moment early in this game on 4th and goal. Last week, it was Russell Wilson. This week, it's Joe Mixon. Both players bigger and stronger, maybe, than him. Is there a better story as you look around the league than Ardarius Washington? Number 29 embodies everything that you love about this game. Undercovered, understudied, overlooked, fights and claws his way into the Ravens organization as an undrafted rookie out of TCU, like I mentioned. Fights and claws and scratches through injury. Marcus Williams is benched, and this guy has not looked back. One of the most important players to this entire organization this year, and very much at the epicenter of what's become an incredible defensive turnaround. A defense that's allowed 33 combined points over the last 3 weeks. And you want to know who's been loving that? And you want to know who's going nowhere? 32-year-old defensive coordinator Zach Orr, who went over to show some love to Ardarius after that incredible play. And he was so dang excited, my man went airborne. Zach Orr hit the deck hard in celebration of Ardarius Washington's play. And this was pretty freaking hilarious. I think Zach maybe just in the moment forgot that I know you're still old enough to be out there as a player. But my man, you are a defensive coordinator now. Oh my God. Hopefully he's not sore tomorrow. But I was just loving this. And I think it's such a indication of what they have going on right now defensively. And also, speaking of vindication, like Matt said, imagine how validating this is for Zach himself. You don't think he heard all the noise? Of course he did. But they've brought Dean Pease in. They've made personnel adjustments on the back end, starting Kyle and Ardarius. They've benched Marcus. They've cut Eddie Jackson. They've demoted Trenton Simpson, asked more of Chris Board, asked more of Malik Harrison. They've gotten healthy and consistent up front defensively. Big Mike Pierce is back. They're stopping the run consistently. There is a lot to like about this defense. There is a lot to like about this Ravens team overall right now in all 3 phases. Justin Tucker drills one from 52 tonight. This is a team that's clicking, firing on all cylinders right now. And as I've mentioned a couple times, controls its own destiny entering the final regular season game. It'll be against the Cleveland Browns, only playing for pride at this point and trying to keep the Ravens away from a second consecutive AFC North divisional title. That's what's at stake going into Week 18. Thank you guys for being here. Over 900 of you concurrently watching tonight. Joey H hits me with a super chat and says, love the dedication. My second super chat today. Joey, I saw you throwing a few of them in to the vault side of things on our post-game live stream, which is obviously appreciated. Sip the tally. Coach is in the building. Coach, were you at the game? I thought I saw some videos of you down in Houston. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself if that's the case, and Merry Christmas to you and yours. If you guys want to call in, I'll open up the guest lines for a few minutes. It's been a long day. Hope you guys have enjoyed your Christmas. Yeah, Coach was in. I thought he was in attendance. The guest lines are open if you'd like to call in. You can visit the link that I just dropped into the live chat. But make no mistake about it, this will be a quick turnaround, and there's going to be a lot going on before the end of this week, leading into the Week 17 slate of games. Because I'm suspecting that pretty much all sports books universally, I think things are going to look a lot different odds-wise after this performance, and I'm really looking forward to that. Guest lines are open. If you'd like to call in, please do so. I just dropped the link. And what I'll do is I'll pin that as a comment. So just hit that link if you'd like to. Big Raj says he's up first. I can tell he's ready to talk some football. Thank you guys for being here. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. We've got over 850 of you here. It's always exciting. Christmas night. No boozing for me this time. Sorry, Raj. I didn't pour one out for you, but I figured Bobby After Dark has to be something that we only go to. It can't become like this consistent thing. We got to keep people guessing a little bit. But anyway, Merry Christmas. Good to see you, man.
Merry Christmas to you too, Bobby. I've been following you for a while. This is Big Raj from the Flex Zone podcast. I love your channel, man. I love what you and Sarah do. You guys are fantastic. You guys are great. And it was a very Merry Christmas, man. The Baltimore Ravens went out there and they handled their business, took care of the Texans, whooped them. Derrick Henry ran all over them, 147 yards. Lamar Jackson was fantastic as well, making his stamp for the MVP or MV3 as they call it.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, for sure, man. He's really something. These are the moments that they become so familiar when you cover the team, year after year after year. But as Sarah said, I think eloquently towards the end, you really have to absorb it as new and unique information every single time it happens, because you become numb if you don't. And then all of a sudden, as life moves and seasons move and things change, it can all be taken away in an instant. And so I think, yeah, like it's easy to say that. It's cliche to say that. But it's almost like we had to stop and pause after the Michael Vick conversation because of the significance of that in his 93rd career start, in his 7th NFL season, and at age 27. It's like you really have to kind of let that breathe a little bit so that you can truly consider the significance of what that means.
And just think about it from where we started with him. It was like when he was a rookie, it was like, oh, this is a flash in the pan. He's just running the football. He can't throw the football. Then in a year or two, when he had his first MVP season, oh, he runs too much. He's going to get hurt running the football. He's not going to develop into a complete quarterback. And then every year from then on, until we got Todd Monken, it's just like Lamar Jackson keeps improving on every aspect of his game. So from throwing the football to running the football to reading defenses to improvising to making big plays, it doesn't matter. Lamar Jackson gets the job done. So, and on top of that, which is even more great, is in primetime games, he looks spectacular. So he's been doing it the entire season. He's been putting his team on his back, and he's pretty much doing everything that we want him to see in Baltimore. So hats off to him. Hats off to the Ravens. They've been doing excellent work. But Bobby, I got one question for you. we got to get you on the show, man, one day.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, I recognize your show, the show name. Obviously, you're a first time caller. So this is the first time that I've been face to face with you. Hit me up, man. My DMs are all open across all platforms. I don't always get back right away, but let's do it.
Most definitely. And like I said before, I've been watching you and Sarah for a good while since y'all been doing the morning shows. You know, y'all was doing I think before the video, y'all was doing just the I think the 15-minute
Yeah,
the 15
morning
minute
vaults.
the morning votes. Yeah,
Yeah.
great stuff, man. Great stuff. But yeah, y'all two do a fantastic job in the afternoons, and y'all make my work day go by pretty fast. So I enjoy everything that y'all do. So I hope y'all continue to have success. I hope y'all continue to keep doing it as long as y'all can, and I hope y'all keep killing it, man, because y'all doing some great work. Seriously.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. Likewise. Same goes for you. I hope you had a great Christmas and enjoyed the call, man. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Catch up with you. Big Raj, the Flex Zone. You heard him. Go check his workout. Maybe I'll be popping on there at some point here soon. The guest lines are open. Please give me a call. See what you're thinking about tonight. Ravens are one win away from yet another AFC North crown and hosting a game on Wild Card Weekend, which is always exciting. Will, Manny, and Chef all in the waiting room. What's going on, Will? Merry Christmas, dude. Good to see you.
Hey, Merry Christmas, brother. Hey, man, this is my first time ever calling, ever doing anything like this, man. I've been watching you and Sarah for a minute. I'm just a diehard Ravens fan with my little onesie on, dog, repping the game.
Well, I was just about to say, you know, you made sure that you looked the part if this is going to be a first time calling. So good stuff there.
Yeah, man. Hey, I just want to give you props, man, for you to take the way, for you to do the thing you're doing the way you're doing it. I don't think anybody else in the game is doing it. And I love how you explain you're not necessarily a fan, you're not crazy like us, and it provides a great perspective when we're looking at things objectively. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how fans are. We just think everything's rainbows and butterflies, and we try to play the blame game. But you call it like it is, man. So I just want to say I appreciate that. This year our year, though, bro. This year our year. We're gonna take them Chiefs out. You feel me? We just got one game at a time. That's it, man.
Hey, I got to be honest with you. I think that the Ravens are the only team that could do it.
Man, that's true, brother. For real.
I really do believe that. And it's not that other teams haven't. It's not that other teams can't.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the Ravens are built to beat the Chiefs, and they can do it on the road, which they're going to have to do in order to get to where they want to go, which is New Orleans.
There you go. Yeah, man. I ain't gonna take up too much of your time. I just want to say I appreciate you, man. Keep grinding, keep doing your thing. You got a lot of fans out here, bro. I'll be waking up early. I'm in Okinawa, Japan, bro. I'll be waking up watching everything. Yeah,
what?
Man. Yeah,
right now you are,
bro. Yeah, man.
Oh, so damn, dude. Okay, yeah. Wow. So
I listen to you and Sarah. So you and Sarah come on at lunch, and then the recordings happen on YouTube, and then I watch it. I got a 45-minute drive to work, bro. It's perfect. I'll be watching on the way at work. And every time I run it, I got Steelers fans, I got Chiefs fans, all the haters at work. Man, y'all be bringing the facts. I be regurgitating. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So
let's go, man.
Keep doing your thing.
I'm so glad you called. This is the stuff that I love, right? When we see names in the live chat, like to get the faces and stories behind those names, like that fires me up. You're in Japan. Like my brother's going to do a 2-month Asian backpack when he graduates in May. And wherever he is, July 4th week, as you know, that's when Sarah and I typically go dark for 10 days. We don't do anything that time of year. I will be taking a flight out wherever he is. If it's in Japan, we're going to have to get in touch, and I would love some recommendations. But
yeah, I got you, bro. You know, my big ass, we eat over here. So just let me know, man. It's a great country, great place to be. I'm over here for the time being for a couple of years, but then back to the States I go, man. So
that's fantastic. Well, that's
your
like
thing, brother.
That is like I'm so happy you shared that. I appreciate that. Merry Christmas, man, and stay safe. Bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Will, first time caller. I love that. I love that shit right there. And on Christmas, no less. It gets me even more fired up. The guest lines are open. If you want to pop on, you know how to do it. The live chat, pinned comment, share a thought. Give me some perspective coming off this week 17 dominating win. I mean, what is even the right adjective for it? I mean, I know Dre's somewhere out there down south, and he's saying it was a dog walking. Matter of fact, that's how I started off the show. I actually started off the show coining Oh, I guess I should say, quoting what Noah Eagle, who's a buddy of mine, he's a play-by-play broadcaster today for Netflix, coined, which was "La Merry Christmas." La Merry Christmas indeed. That was clever. Chef, what's going on, dude? Round two.
Man, nothing much. Got my drink. Funny enough, my girl was going crazy. She went over to her mom's place and forgot the Sir Davis, which is Beyonce's whiskey line and everything. So I told her, don't mind me. I'm gonna just finish it all for her. But
Yep. Now, hey, the real question though is the important question here is: did anybody show up at that damn office here?
that's the crazy thing, Bobby. So the game's on. I think the score is it's like 10-2. It's going into Lamar's like crazy play to where he throws it to Isaiah Likely for a touchdown. I start screaming around the office because I'm the only one in there. At least I'm thinking I'm the only one in there.
Yeah,
Another dude comes out of the comes out of his office, and it's just like the Spider-Man meme where I'm pointing at him, he's pointing at me, and I'm like, wait, what are you doing here?
Right.
But yeah, he said he was on call, and I was like, well, I might have to.
At least you got to watch the game in peace, I hope.
Yeah, I was. He's funny. He's a Steelers fan, so I was joking with him a little bit, but like, thank you for the Christmas gift. I knew you guys would always deliver.
Hey, listen, I think there was a delivery of everybody who thought this was going to be a boat race. I mean, I went 9-point difference, which was stupid. I mean, this game was never close, not from the opening jump. I mean, surgical opening drive, and then Roquan sets the tone. First play from scrimmage for Houston, and absolutely meets Joe Mixon right at the line. And so this is how it's going to be today. You guys aren't getting shit on the ground. Okay, CJ's really struggling from an accuracy standpoint, and we're going to hang 30 on you in your sleep. Like that's a tough thing to respond to if you're Houston coming off a short week and also the emotional blow that they took by losing Tank.
I mean, I'm glad my score prediction was wrong. I said 38-17. 31-2 is way funnier of a storyline, but
it could have easily been a 40 piece if they kept them in. I mean,
yeah. I think there was something that you said earlier about CJ Stroud that I really do believe that was the case, where I think he's still rattled up mentally about Tank Dell. Obviously, that's really for something for him to say, but that's just what it looked like. Because with some of the throws, most of them being overthrows, it almost seemed like he didn't want to put his guys in harm's way, and so maybe that's just weighing on him mentally. And I mean, I feel for him. I really do. I mean, in a way, I hope that D'Amico Ryans would sit him maybe for a week or something, let him clear his head, let him go see Tank Dell or something, because as much as, we love football and everything, and we're all fans, I'm pretty sure nobody wants to see anybody get, seriously hurt, injured, or anything like that. So, I mean, my heart really goes out for him. It's a tough loss. So that's also adding to it. But on a lighter note,
some of it wasn't even pressure related. Like,
yeah, I think that's the mental part of it.
Yeah. So, and he also mentioned post game too. I actually just listened to his press conference before I started, and he was just disheveled. But he did mention, and I think he regretted saying it afterwards. But he said he's hurt. Now he didn't say what specifically is hurt, but as soon as he said it, he's just like, that's a terrible excuse too. So that even tells you the state of mind that he's in. He's saying things that he's typically buttoned up on. Yeah. So anyway, that's their issue. Obviously, they've won their division. They'll be in the postseason. They could potentially host a playoff game, but
it's I don't envy their position to be in right now. I don't.
No.
But I love that. And this goes out to all the Lamar haters. Hey, I'm a Lamar fan, supporter. I don't care. You say what you want in the comments. I'm a supporter. Same thing for TreZzz Walker too, Bobby. He didn't catch it, but hey, I like the way he tracked the ball, man. I like the way how he got his head around and he was going. He's like, oh, it's a,
You like the way that he dressed in his jersey today. He got his jersey on. You like the way that he dressed. You like that he was there. He showed up. You're happy about that, right?
He was doing the damn. Well, he's getting into some tussles a little bit on special teams.
I saw that.
Yeah, as a
Yeah.
gunner. Yeah, he was coming off. And then and then at the end, Robert Woods bodied him and he just fell to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the last punt returns. I was like, damn, Tez, you can't get your ass whooped like this, man.
For sure. No. I thought the
But
same thing.
To Lamar haters, I don't know how y'all make it seem like MVP quarterbacks just grow off of trees, man. Some of y'all are like, we need to move on from Lamar and pick up who? There is no one in the game, barring Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, he has 3 rings and everything. There's nobody else in the league that can do what Lamar does week in, week out. Like 2-time MVP for a reason, possibly a third. And I think this is, I don't want to jinx it. I think Bobby jinxes a lot of things, but I think this is the Ravens' year.
If you think so, I ain't saying shit then.
Wrong.
Smile and nod, and I won't be saying anything else, because if you think I'm jinxing stuff, you're not putting any words in my mouth, and we'll leave it at that. I'm going to get to Manny, my brother. Merry Christmas. Thanks for the call, dude. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right.
Talk to you. All right, let's go down to Houston, who's just cultivating friendship after friendship after friendship, and let's see where his sobriety levels are at this point in the evening, being that around 3:30 Eastern, he and Mike M. We'll just go right to the source. How was the pregame? Are you sober right now? How was the experience? Are you enjoying it? Are you in the hotel? What are you up to, big dog?
I'm with fam right now. The experience was awesome. Let me tell you something. Witnessing Lamar in person, YouTube nor the live stream, nothing does it justice. I mean, that dude is really fast. And for him to say that was jogging, that wasn't jogging. It didn't look like jogging.
Yeah.
You just saw Lamar like the white dot and just like that,
right?
I can't believe it.
Dude, the audacity to say that he was jogging when he was clocked at 21.25 miles an hour. I covered that earlier on in the show. Is just like, how depressing must that be for everybody that has to deal with him, like a Danielle Hunter. Here is the graphic.
Yeah.
He told reporters, he told Jameson Hensley post-game, I was jogging. All right, well, Lamar, nobody wants to see you sprinting then. Nobody wants to see you sprinting.
You want to know what's depressing? Is that Texans fans were leaving the game after we scored 24 points.
Holy shit.
Yes. It's like once we scored like 24, fans were starting to leave the stadium. And it was like, well, at least in my section where I was saying to, hey, at least you got to see Beyonce. So that might make it worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they were starting to leave. And what was it? Every time that they were on third down, that the stadium rallies up to help the defense. Quiet. After that touchdown, it was quiet as that. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, they just completely demoralized that entire stadium on Christmas Day. The audacity, the nerve. That's what they did, and they did it in San Francisco a year ago, and you had a front row seat to them doing it this year, brother. Closing thought from you.
Closing thought, hey, our defense allowed 0 points thanks to Mike.
Thanks to Mike.
Yeah. Hey, Mike is
the acting defensive coordinator, for those of you who are wondering that.
Yeah, but real seriousness, the defense didn't allow a single point. Yep. And that was awesome to see. I didn't understand the 2 4th downs that they had close to the red zone. I didn't understand why you went for them instead of just taking the points, because even if it's just a field goal, but at least it gives you something is like to rely on. It's like, okay, let's get it. No, they didn't take it.
This was a team that was honestly, I had made a note on it right here. They punted on 4th and 2 from the opposing 43-yard line down 17-2.
Yep.
I mean, that right there is exhibit A for why they just the Ravens just, I mean, talk about a demoralizing loss for Houston. You lost in every phase, and you lost from the opening jump in a standalone opportunity, prime time essentially, at home.
Yeah. It was, like I said, it was quiet. After we scored 24 points, people were leaving, empty seats. You could go down and just sit on whichever seat was available.
Yeah. Evans calling it a golf match. It was a golf match in there. There was golf clap only for Houston fans. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, brother, I appreciate the call from earlier. That was a lot of fun that you and Mike got a chance to meet and do all the pregame festivities. I know you were doing stuff last night too. So safe travels back, and Merry Christmas to you and the crew.
Hey, Merry Christmas. And thank you for the platform, Bobby, because without your
course.
platform, I couldn't have met Mike. I couldn't have gone to the game. Hey,
Heck yeah, man.
thanks to you, man.
Gratitude on both of our sides. So catch up with you soon. All right.
All right.
Later, Manny. Shout out Marcus Gentile. What up, Meekus? Mr. 518 in the live chat asking me about what I thought about the Netflix broadcast. I think Greg Olson's the best in the game, to be honest with you. I think there's nobody that breaks down high, complex football IQ terms into layman speak. I thought he is exceptional. I love Noah Eagle. He's a friend of mine. What else? I thought the broadcast crew in studio, Kay Adams, Chef's Kiss, RG3, Chef's Kiss, Mina Kimes, one of the best analysts out there. Who was the fourth? I know Drew Brees was on earlier. Was it Manti Te'o? And I know Drew Brees was in there, and there was a couple other people that were involved. So I thought it was a star-studded cast. I heard that there were some logistical issues in the early window, like mics not coming off the top of their show. But I thought the in-game broadcast for the Ravens-Texans was exceptional. And I continue to think that Greg Olsen is the best color analyst in the game, like over Romo, over Brady, over Collingsworth. Like, I will take Greg Olsen any day of the week. So, Meekus, Merry Christmas, brother. Give your family my best, please. So, how cool is that Manny and Mike got together and they met through my Discord community, which reminds me, I would love to tell you about that. If you haven't already joined, you can do so, and it is free. And maybe, just maybe, you'll cultivate some relationships and friendships the way that Mike and Manny did. They ended up getting together in Houston. They were out at a bar last night, I'm pretty sure, and then they were hanging out pregame. They called into the show. You can join the Bobby Baltimore Discord server. It's a 24/7 hub for conversations surrounding Baltimore sports by going to the show notes below. It is free. Again, there is conversation in there all day long, and of course, the link is not loading for me right now. And if it is loading, it's just super slow. But go down to the show notes. You can click on the Discord link. You can join. It's a great way of interacting with me behind the scenes. It's a great way of getting to know who else is within this Ravens community. And a special thank you to Primary Residential Mortgage for their continued support that they give me as one of my most reliable, trustworthy, long-standing brand partners. If you're interested in donating to the channel, you don't want to do so through Venmo. I should say through the super chat feature. You can do so through Venmo or Cash App or anywhere else that, whether it's super chats or not. I'm trying to get this Discord link for you because I wanted to be able to just throw it right in the chat. But, of course, it's not loading right now. So, anyway, just go to the show notes if you'd like to join. And please like the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I'm getting a super chat on the way out from Kuya Rick Kelly. Appreciate you, Kuya. It wasn't just prime time they lost on. It was worldwide. The whole world saw us beat them down. Also, yeah, Greg is the best. Yeah, Greg Olsen's just, man, I got to get him on the show somehow. I gotta get him on the show somehow. Kuya, appreciate the super chat. And thanks to all of you, especially the super chat donors, Dave and Matt and Tongsley and Joey and Kuya. You guys were all super, super kind. We hit viewership records on the vault post-game wise. I think we hit like over, gosh, what was it across platforms? I think it was like 6,100 or something like that. So anyway, thank you guys so much. We will be back with you tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern, for a Ravens lunch hour live stream. I will be live at some point afterwards as well. You guys are the best for your continued support. Please like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and please support my brand sponsors if you are interested in getting involved in the home buying process. That would help me out greatly. You can click on that link to learn more. That's a pinned comment in the live chat. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Christmases. Stay safe. Be well, be merry, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Later.